मॅडम यायची अजून. मॅडम यायची अजून.
माग बस हात दिसून
मॉक इंटरव्ह्यू रे.
हात दिसून
हा असंच रे TCS
मॉक
मॉक आहे रे. तुला काय मॉक इंटरव्ह्यू आहे रे. एवढं रात्रीच नाही ठेवतो TCS वाले खोळी की एवढं रात्रीच घ्या नाही पाहिजे रे. अलाउड नाही पाहिजे कुठे कधी पण काही बी असते म्हणा वर्क कल्चर. त्यांचा अजून आलाच नाही ओरिजिनल आलाच नाही त्यांचा अजून. येईल अजून ड्रायव्हरच्या नंतर आलं तरच बरं होईल. आपलं KPT आहे की आता कुठे मध्ये दिसते असलं सगळे एकत्रच होते नाही तर गाडू आणि आलाच नाही अजून. बाकी डिजिटलचं झालं सगळ्यांचं. बोलला मला ती पण केला चेंज त्यांना वाटतं. त्या दुसरा अकाउंट घेतला असणार ना त्यानं. 2 अकाउंट काढले असतील त्याने सेपरेट.
मी त्याला काय म्हटलं सय्यद सांग परत गोंधळ होईल.
मग काय म्हणतोय
अरे दुसरा अकाउंट बाबा कसं चालेल. त्यांनी आधार कार्ड घेतलंय पॅन कार्ड घेतलं
त्याने सबमिट केलं काय ते मला नाही सबमिट
केलं अप्लाय केलंय त्याला अवेटिंग अप्रूव्हल.
कठीण आहे आता म्हणा.
खोटं बोलते अवेटिंग अप्रूव्हल दाखव त्याला म्हणलं सय्यद सोबत मी स्वतः फॉर्म बघितलं. सय्यद सोबत बोलले काहीतरी कर.
हो तेच की
नाहीये चांगली.
Hi Sanket.
गुड इव्हनिंग मॅम.
Good evening. You can call me Anupriti instead of ma'am.
No ma'am, you are senior, so ma'am is
Arey,
preferred.
no, please. That's a corporate culture. You have to call by names only.
Yes ma'am. Okay, Anuprati.
Yeah. So we are 4 minutes early.
Yes.
Are you prepared? Shall we get started?
Yes. No issue.
Okay. Okay, I have your resume with me. Okay, Sanket. So could you start with introducing yourself?
Yes. My name is Sanket Sharad Suryavanshi.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I am pursuing my BTech degree in Computer Science and Engineering from Anna Saheb Dange College of Engineering and Technology, Asta, with an overall CGPA of 8.7. I am very good at web development and Python. Along with that, I have achieved a 3-star in Google Cloud Learn to Earn Challenge. In addition to that, also I have achieved a certification of excellence in augmented reality and virtual reality with integration and IoT, which workshop which I have attended in college. And as an interest nowadays, I have started to learn language called German.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So about your projects, how are those?
Yes, in third year we have a mini project in which we have developed a web application called Flight and Hotel Price Prediction, which was based on machine learning only. So basically, whenever anyone wants to travel, then they want their flight ticket to be purchased in very low amount. So that's why this web application will help them to purchase a ticket in very low price. So basically, any machine learning project, we need to follow machine learning development life cycle. So in that, first we need to gather the data set. So we have gathered data set from Kaggle. After the data collection process, we can't give the data directly to the machine for training purpose. We need to clean the data because machine only understand number. So there is also string and object different data types present in that. So we need to clean. After all cleaning is done, we need to explore the data, means what is present inside the data, what are the different parameters are there, so that on the basis of the different parameters our machine learning model will train and give the output on the basis of that. So we have explored the data. After explore data set, we need to do some feature engineering, so that some important features can help the machine learning model to give the better output. So we have selected some important features for that model. and after that we have trained with different algorithms like random forest and decision tree, and we have chosen the algorithm which has given best accuracy both of them, and after that we have evaluated, and after that we have deployed on the Heroku. And in fourth year, our current final year project is eKYC web application using OCR.
Okay.
So as we all know that there are many organizations such as financial institutions or many business which require the customer should be verified properly before giving any services, so that there should not be any misuse of their services. So for that we are going to develop an eKYC web application through which first customer need to register, and while register customer need to verify the account with the help of their Aadhaar card. So in this project we need to use some APIs. So we have find one API called cash free. So this API provides an authentication with the help of government data, so that we can verify the customer whether is the original or not, and we have used an OCR technology so that we can capture the data from the Aadhaar card, and in this way we are
Okay.
going to verify all the user, and then we are redirecting all the user to the dashboard so that they can use their services accordingly.
And how did you get data for this application,
For which, ma'am, verification?
eKYC project? How did you gather your data?
In this nothing but you first user will visit our website, then for registration user will need an Aadhaar card, then if user
Uh-huh.
shows Aadhaar card to the webcam, then with the help of optical character recognition all the data which is present in Aadhaar card will be extracted, and after that extraction user will be prompt whether the data is correct. If it is correct, then with the help of that API we are going to authenticate that user. So we are going to use cache free API which will provide the authentication with the help of government data which was linked there.
Mhm.
So we will authenticate. If all is verified, then we will redirect that user to the dashboard. Also we are matching the face present in the Aadhaar card and the face present in the database, both. So in this way
Okay.
we can authenticate user and we can redirect it to the dashboard so that they can use the services provided by different organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, and you have used OCR for that.
Yes, OCR for that.
Okay, can you elaborate what is OCR?
Yes, OCR basically stands for optical character recognition. So
Mm-hmm.
basically what we basically, as we know that we have used different applications in daily life such as cam scanner and all. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever we want to scan such documents, we are going to use such application, or one well-known popular application is Google Lens, through which whenever we scan any web page, then basic web page or any page, then basically data present on that page get automatically extracted. So in same way we are going to use an OCR. In Python we have pre-built library called PyTesseract. With the help of that library we are going to extract the images or data from that PAN card or Aadhaar card.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have used PyTest for that.
PyTesseract, yes.
Okay. Okay, and there is one more project in your resume. It is regarding IPL score predictor using machine learning.
Yes, ma'am. I have made it for personal only.
Acha.
Hmm.
Okay. So, how do you rate yourself in Python from 1 to 10 scale?
Approximately 7 to 8.
And for JavaScript and SQL, which
Mm.
you have mentioned.
Yes, ma'am. For SQL, I can rate myself as a 6, 7 out of 10.
Mhm.
And
And
for
C++?
C++ also out of 7 out of 10.
Mhm. Okay. So you have rated highest for SQL, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Mm, could you tell me something about um, data structures which you have used while developing these projects?
For which project, ma'am?
Any project, the one which you have developed, have you used data structure concepts in that?
Not so directly used, but there are many applications where data structures are important.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if we want to store some previous data, then for that we can use some stack so that our previous records are basically stored, so that we
Mm-hmm.
can get data back whenever we require from that stack.
Okay, so suppose in your web application you have two web pages, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
You wanted to pass data from one web page to another web page.
Mm-hmm.
How will you do that?
Uh, in terms of JavaScript, in React.js, we have different hooks available, such as use
Mm-hmm.
state hook or use state hook, or different types of hooks are available, such as context API and through which our data is passed globally through one parent component, and then automatically data passes through parent to child. So it get data to all the child and parent automatically.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned about context. So, what is that context?
Yes, ma'am. In context API, we have a concept of reducer and function. So basically,
Mhm.
whatever data is basically globally stored in context, that is data, and this context is passed through the parent component, and through that parent component, data is passed through child through that context API. And basically, we have reducer function, so automatically call goes to that reducer, and on the basis of that data get altered.
Okay, and how do we do that in Python if I want to pass data from uh, one page to another?
In Python, I don't. In web development field only, I use only React.js, PHP, and all. In web development, I have not
Mhm.
used Python so much anymore. Now, in our
O-
final year mega project, we are using Django. So now, still learning that.
Okay, so you're using Django.
In Python, in final year project. So now,
Uh-huh.
mm,
Okay, can you tell me summary of Django? What is it actually, and how? What are the advantages of it?
yes, Django is nothing but one of the Python framework only that basically
Mm-hmm.
help us to build an web application. Instead of writing code from scratch, we can make use of such frameworks to develop an web application faster. So
Mm-hmm.
in Django, basically the database is already given by them only SQL DB, and all the admin and authentication is already done by them side only. So we don't need to write again code for that also. So already database is configured and all. We need to create only models, and on the basis of that model, database automatically get created there. So we need to write only some SQL query, like directly we can create database here. Some, like with the help of Python we can create web applications, so it becomes easy for Python developer to create web app also. If a user don't know, if the developer don't know the JavaScript and all, then also he can make a web application using Python Django.
Mm-hmm.
And also more
And
famous application like Instagram and all, nowadays
mhm.
using Django only.
Okay. Can you tell me something about architecture of Django? How is it? How the
uh,
data flows in Django?
In Django, basically we follow the MVC architecture, like a model, view, controller. Model is
Mm-hmm.
basically database, and view is basically whatever user is going to see. Means with the help of the Django, we are going to render a template. This is basically index file. So this is nothing
Mm.
but view that user is going to see, and we have controller that basically controlling all these things. MVC architecture basically it follows.
Okay. What else architecture do you know apart from MVC which are used in market now? Apart from MVC, do you know any other architecture or any other design pattern? I can say.
No, ma'am, I can't remember right now.
Okay, no issues. How will you connect your project with Django? What is I wanted to know how is the connection done basically?
Yes, basically, firstly, basically you need to install Django library with the help of pip install. After
Hmm.
that, you need to first create an project with the help of Django dash admin. Start
Hmm.
project. I need to give some name to that project. Automatically, it will create a project for you. In that,
Hmm.
basically by default, there is one app which was created by then only with the same name as it is. And in that app, in that project, we can navigate to that folder and we can create another app by using name, and
Hmm.
we can launch that web app directly using Python manage.py run server. So automatically it will load by default index page that they have given, and we can change then views and URLs. If we want to render any another page, we can go to that URL and we can change the pattern and URL match, or we can create different pages and we can provide the views for that. So if you want to see if any different pages is available there.
Okay. That is okay. Just a minute. Okay.
Yes.
What are sessions in Django?
Sessions are basically whenever user login, then basically sessions is there for some specific time period, so that user can log into that app. If sessions are expired, then user need to log in after some time, so that their session can be maintained. Means we can record the history what the user has done in that session particularly, so
Mhm.
that for example, if any user is there, if he's clicking some buttons, if he going to another page, then we can keep track of that with the help of session. After logout, the session is deleted.
Okay. What
Yes.
is the key component that is used in these sessions? Meaning, on what is that important concept in sessions which is responsible for doing all these things?
Mm,
On what basis are the sessions bifurcated? I mean,
no, ma'am, I don't know.
okay, okay, no issues. You have also mentioned in your resume regarding NumPy and Panda library. So
Mm,
you are aware of those?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, what are pandas?
Pandas is basically one of the library in Python. Basically, with the help of that, we can create an different data frames and all. Through that, we can work for machine learning only. This library is basically helpful for machine learning tasks related only. Whenever we get
Mhm.
any data frame, so this is nothing but table only, rows and columns. So with the help of pandas, we can manipulate the data with the help of this library.
Okay, and the data structures which we can use or are available in pandas are
In pandas, basically we have series which is only one single row or single column, and we have
correct.
data frame, either a series or either a data frame. Both matrix like structure is there for data frame, and for series there is only single vector.
And the third one, which is for three-dimensional structure. Data frame is a two-dimensional, right?
Yes.
Rows and columns.
Yes.
Series is
One
one-dimensional. And how
dimensional.
about three dimensions?
Two dimensions.
Okay, it is a
Don't know.
panel. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, what is PyLab?
Pylab I don't know.
Okay. Mm, can you elaborate a data frame data structure in pandas? What is about? Can you tell me something about data frame which is used in pandas?
Means for example, if we load any Excel file or any CSV file, that basically
Mm-hmm.
considered the data frame only. On the data frame, we have different attributes are available we can use. So for example, if we load any Excel or CSV file, and if you store it into one variable called data frame, then we can make use of data frame dot shape, so that we can get a number of rows and number of columns to the data frame we have. Or after that, we can get an info function information of the data frame with the help of info function. In such a way, we have different attributes are available we can apply on the data frame.
Okay, is the data frame mutable or
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
an
It
okay,
is mutable.
okay. Um, all right. Can you tell me about NumPy?
Yes, ma'am. NumPy is basically used for mathematical operation, for
Mm-hmm.
dealing with the matrices and all. We can use it because in Python arrays are slow, means list.
Mm-hmm.
On for getting a faster computation power, we are going to use NumPy, which is faster than normal list. So we can make an addition, multiplication, and all such mathematical operation with NumPy.
Okay. Do you know about negative indexing?
Yes, ma'am. In Python, we can go by negative indexing by reverse from last.
Okay. Have you used that in your project?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes it requires, because if you want to traverse any data from last or backside, then we need to go by negative indexing only.
Okay. Uh, can you tell me a small meaning instead of writing? Can you just orally tell me about data types in NumPy that we can use syntax for it? For example, arrays. How is the syntax for it?
Means we can directly first we need to import library with the help of import numpy as np. After that we can create an array with the help of np.array function, and we need to pass a list. And also we can mention a data type if we want, like d type is equal to either int or either float if we want in that np.array, and in that we can pass a list.
And about two-dimensional arrays?
The same ways we can pass np.array, and we can pass inside a 2D array or list in that.
Okay. Okay. What are the alternatives that are there for NumPy?
Mostly in machine learning or in Python field, NumPy and Panda, these are the two famous library that basically use. No,
Okay.
don't know any
And
other
for
libraries.
pandas, do you know any other alternative for pandas?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know anything about flasks? Flask.
Yes, ma'am. Flask is also one of the Python library for making a web application only,
Mm-hmm.
same as Django. But I think Django is some like what advanced than Flask. With the help of Flask, we also created one website. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, for deploying machine learning model is okay for that. But for making some advanced web application, I think it is not suitable.
Okay. How do you rate yourself in C++?
7 out of 10. Mostly I work in Python rather than C++.
Okay. Apart from Python, you have also mentioned about C, C++.
Yes, mentioned, but currently now I'm mostly working with Python only. I have knowledge about C, C++, but mostly I'm working with Python and only.
Okay. Is Python object-oriented or procedure-oriented?
Object-oriented.
Okay. Can you explain the concepts, object-oriented concepts?
Yes, as you all know that our Python is object-oriented programming language. So in
Mm-hmm.
object-oriented programming, we have two main building blocks such as class and object. So class is
Mm-hmm.
nothing but is like a blueprint for creation of object. For example, car is in class, and for that class car, we have different like Honda City, BMW, and Mercedes. These are the object. Basically, this class concept will help us to group the similar data and member functions and together, so that we can achieve an abstraction. Means hiding the implementation details from each other. And
Mm-hmm.
also we can make use of encapsulation, means similar kind of things will be grouped together inside one class. And also security is also maintained by the class by using protected and private members.
Okay. And how is the abstraction achieved in our code?
Abstraction nothing but hiding the implementation details, only essential information. So as we all know, if any user want to access that, we directly instead of showing the implementation detail, we are directly giving the output to the user. So the user no need to get inside that what is written in that code. Directly he can use the function directly instead of getting to know what is inside that written in that code.
Okay. How can we achieve it in code? Can you tell me in terms of code, how is data abstraction, or how we can achieve it? We understand that abstraction and encapsulation, but how do we achieve it in terms of code, data abstraction? Okay. And do you know inheritance?
Yes, inheritance is nothing but an ability to reuse that same code again. In
Mm-hmm.
inheritance, we have different types of inheritance like single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and all. So we
Mm-hmm.
can inherit that from parent to child, so that there is no need to write same code again.
Okay. How do we achieve that in code?
Uh,
What code will you write, or give me an example of it
yes,
so that you can say we have
yes,
achieved
we can
inherit.
create a class A, and after
Mhm.
creation of class A, we can define some public and private member functions and data members. And after that, we
Mhm.
can write a class B. We can write a tuple like brackets, and inside that we can mention a class from which it is deriving, like a
Okay.
class A, so that it is inherited from class A, and class B child of that class A.
Okay. Do you know access specifiers?
Yes, we have three different types of access specifier like public, private, and protected.
Mm-hmm. What happens if I define a variable as protected in parent class and that is overridden, or we can say it is extended? I'm sorry, it is
Hmm.
extended. So will that protected variable will be accessed in the child class?
Yes, ma'am. Protected member is inherited in child class, but private members are not inherited.
Okay, all right. Uh, Overloading, overriding, do you know about those?
Yes, ma'am. Overloading is nothing but we have function overloading and operator
Mhm.
overloading. In function overloading, we have same function name, but we have different function parameters. In basis of that, we can differentiate the different function. They have same name, but they are doing different tasks in terms of their return type or in terms of their argument functions or parameters.
Okay, and which of the OOPS concepts is achieved using method overloading?
Polymorphism means one thing but many form is
Okay,
function overloading.
good, good. Okay. Do you know the final keyword?
Yes, ma'am. Final keyword. Yes.
Okay. What happens if I define a variable as final?
If you define any variable final, then you can't again initialize that variable with any another value. Means if you are declared a final I is equal to 20, means it is 20 finally. We can't give any another value to that I.
Okay, and how about static? What if I make a variable as static?
If you make any variable static, for example, if any function, if you define static I is equal to 0, and when you're
Hmm.
calling that function at only one time, only it is initialized. After that, it is not again initialized with 0. It will continue with whatever value that it got already. It will
Meaning
not
you will
again.
not be able to change the value in
No, no, no.
static, is what
In
you're saying?
static, for example, if you are int I is equal to 5, and
Hmm.
it is defined inside the function, and if you are calling again function that, then again it will not initialize I is equal to 5. Already it is initialized I is equal to 5. That line of code will not execute it again for static int I is equal to 5. It will automatically take what your previous value that I is initialized.
And if I want I as 10 now, then?
You can change I value, but that line of code will not execute again. It will only execute once. Means initialize is done only once. After that, you can change the value whatever you want.
Okay, but usually also we initialize a variable only once, no? And we assign the value
No, no,
later
no.
on.
In function, for example, if you are calling one function called xyz, and in
Hmm.
that you have passed two parameters like a and b, and a and b have
Hmm.
value called as a phi and phi. And when you are
Okay.
calling that, you are going for the function definition. In that function definition, you are declared static I is equal to 10. And this
Hmm.
first time I is declared initialized as 10, then you can add that phi to phi, and phi means total addition is we get 15. And next time
Okay.
again, if you are calling function second time, then I will be if you change any I in that code, then I will be automatically taken the change
Update.
value only, updated value it will take. It will not
Okay.
again initialize to that file.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, what if I make a class as final?
You can't extend, I think, that class.
Okay. Yeah, that is the right answer.
Yes.
And of how about method? If I make a method as final?
Hmm. I think same. We can't override that method.
Yeah, correct. We cannot override the method. All right. Do you know smart pointers in C++?
No, I only know pointers and double pointers.
Okay. Okay. I'll ask you a few more questions about data structure.
Yes.
Okay. So, how is a stack used? You give me a real-time example of stack?
Yes, in browser only, stack can be very useful to store that
Mhm.
previous page what we have visited. And if you returning from that page to back page, then we can directly pop out from the stack what is the page that you have visited with the help of stack. As we all know that stack is basically last in first out data structure. Means whatever last comes in stack, it will get first out. So
Okay.
in browser it can be usable, or when you are using painting, and if you are using control Z, so in that undo operation also stack is usable.
What are the methods used for adding and deleting values in stack?
Yes, we can use a push and pop operation. Push for inserting and pop for
Mhm.
removing value from stack.
Okay. Do you know where this stack is stored in memory? Whether it is in heap, or do you know anything regarding to memory initialization for stack?
Stack is basically initialize only memory that.
Okay. Uh, What kind of memory allocation happens in stack? It is a static or dynamic?
In Python, we have a list. In that, basically, it is a dynamic, but in CPP, whenever we declared an array, it is a static.
Okay. And for dynamic, what we have to use?
In dynamic, in CPP, we have vector, so we can use vector for dynamic memory allocation.
Okay. How about linked list? What are the types of linked list
Linked
available?
list, we have singly linked list, doubly linked list, circular linked list, or doubly circular linked list.
Okay. Can you elaborate each of them
Yes,
in
in
two lines?
singly linked list, there is only one single pointer that is pointing to the next node, and
Mhm.
next we have doubly linked list. In that we have linked from both the end, like from start and backside. Means we can traverse from both the end. And in circular
Okay.
linked list, our linked list is completely circularly connecting start and end.
Okay. So, have you used any of these data structures?
Yes, we have. Yes, I have used singly linked list, doubly linked list.
Okay. In singly linked list, if I wanted to traverse backward, how will I do that?
You can in
Meaning
singly
now
linked.
my head is at suppose third location and I wanted a variable which is there at second. How will I reverse it? Reversely traverse?
No, we can use a pointer approach. We can take a two pointer and we can move forward until I get third location. Until means we can move one pointer ahead of that second pointer, so that if I add third, automatically I will get an value at second pointer. We can't go
And
reverse
without
back.
adding any pointer, if
Mm,
only with one head I want to play them.
no, in single linked list we can't traverse from back. We only single linked list means a single pointer to the next node is there. We can't come back from that single linked list.
Okay. And do you know anything about postfix expressions that are used?
Yes, ma'am. In stack we have different types of conversions for which we can use like infix to postfix and all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Any
which
example of that?
So, for example, if you are given a postfix expression and you want to convert it to infix, so we
Mm-hmm.
can use stack. Means, for example, if you have 5 3 star, then if any two operand comes, we can directly append to the stack. Means if you come 5, then you can directly push. If you get 3, directly push, and if you get any another operator, means for example plus, then automatically stack from stack we will pop out the two operands and we will perform that operation. Means 5 plus 3 will be 8, and automatically 8 will be again pushed to the stack. So in such way we can evaluate the postfix expression with the help of stack.
Okay.
Hmm.
How is linked list better over array?
Linked list is basically better than array, as it is we can go by there is a way, means we can go to any location with the help of pointer easily.
No, no. I'm asking about linked list and array.
Linked list and array.
Hmm. Difference you can tell me
Hmm.
about linked list and array. What can be achieved using linked list and what cannot be achieved using array?
In a normal in if you talk about CPP and all, an array is basically only size is limited, means size is fixed, while the linked list size is not fixed. We can dynamically allocate a new node, and we can directly append that new node to the end of the linked list, so we can increase the size accordingly whatever we want. But in array, normal array, we can't do this.
Okay. Apart from this, any other thing
Hmm, no,
regarding storage of those in memory?
I think linked list is using some more memory efficient than array.
Okay. It uses more memory than array.
No, no, more it will more efficiently you consumes the memory than array.
Okay. All right. Mm, okay. You have mentioned about GitHub in as a tools in
Yes.
your resume.
Mhm.
So, do you know how do we pull push
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
Git?
Uh,
Okay, tell
Git is
me.
basically software which was maintained by Linux only, which is a command line tool. So basically,
Mhm.
whenever we do any development, there should be some tracking version system should be available, so that we can roll
Mhm.
back to any version. So Git is basically version control system only. 1 minute now. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Git is basically one of the software which is maintained by Linux only. So in that,
Mm-hmm.
basically it is nothing but a version control system only, so that we can track the different versions of their code. For example, while development, if you are writing some code, and if at some point if you want to come back to the previous version, means if you want to do change in that code, but it is very difficult to manually keep multiple files of that same code at different versions. So we can use Git, so that we can roll back to different versions by using rollback function, rollback command and all. So basically there are different save points are available, so we can roll back to the different save points and we can check what is the code at that time, and we can update that accordingly.
Okay. Can you tell me important terminologies in this Git?
So in Git, basically as it is a version control system, so for
Mm-hmm.
that we are also with that Git we can use GitHub, which is basically provided by Microsoft for hosting of that Git files repository. So first you need to initialize the repository with the help of git init command. After
Mm-hmm.
initializing repository, you can add the different files that you want to add to the repository with the help of git add command. Git add any
Mm-hmm.
file name what you want. After adding file, you should commit that file so that they can get to the staging area. While committing, you
Mm-hmm.
can you can give any message whatever you want by using -m flag. After
Mm-hmm.
commit, you automatically all the files are updated and you can push that to the git. So automatically it will push and it will save that data.
Okay.
And
How?
and if any collaborator is there, we can work together on the same system.
Okay. So if I wanted to add multiple files at a time, then how will I do that?
Yes, we have a command called git add space dot. So automatically it will add all the files that are present in current working directory.
Okay. Uh, if your friend and you are working on a same file, okay,
Mhm.
and you both are changing same variable at a time, and your friend has pushed the code already, and now when you're pushing, there is a conflict. So how will you resolve this conflict?
Yes, so at a time I think it will accept only one push request. So
Mm-hmm.
after that his push request is completed, then only I am able to make an push request again.
Yeah,
And
he has already done with his
if
pull
any
request.
conflict is happened, then we can roll back to the previous checkpoint whether we have saved the data. So we can
No, no.
again
How will you resolve that conflict? You can resolve it by two ways.
Mhm.
Either your code will be there, or either your friend's code will be there. So what will you do in that case?
Hmm, no idea.
Okay, no issues. What happens if you are fetching? Do you know the fetch command?
Yes.
Okay, what is achieved using fetch?
Basically, when you are fetching, basically all the codes that are available at the repository, it will be get to our local system using fetch command.
Mm, not code, but the branches.
Branches
Okay.
that are.
Okay. And do you know about pull request in Git?
Yes, we can make pull request if any changes that we want to perform in their branch. Means if there are
Mhm.
any issue in their code, then we can make a pull request so that author can merge our pull request and automatically that updation will be done at their end.
Okay. So best practice for that is maintaining your code in your development branches,
Mhm.
and against the development branch we make the pull
Pull
request so
request.
that your code gets merged into the final branch, we can say.
Yes.
Okay. One last question about complexities. Do you know about complexities in searching and sorting techniques?
Yes, ma'am. Either we have linear time complexity. Such
Mm-hmm.
different times complexities are there. Means, for
Mm-hmm.
example, in binary search, we have log n complexity, while in linear search we have big of n complexity. In linear search, we are traversing whole the array, so in that we
Mm-hmm.
can get an big of n. While in binary search, basically for that binary search, one precondition is there, like our array should be sorted. So in binary search, we are checking with the help of middle element whether the middle element, whatever element we are searching, it is less than middle element or not. On the basis of that, we are dividing array and we are checking in the rest of the hub. So binary search will give big of log n time complexity, while linear search will give big of n time complexity.
Okay. About merge sort, time complexity
Big of
about
n
that.
square. Big of n square. No, no. Big of log n. N log n.
Sure.
Big of n log n. Big of n
You're
log n.
sure about it?
Big of n log n. Merge sort.
Okay, that is correct.
Yes.
Okay, that's all from me, Sanket.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. So, any suggestions for Sanket for
He is already at his best, I can say.
yeah.
Yeah, he is doing good.
He is our good student.
Yeah, I just was going through his resume.
Mm-hmm.
My God, he has so many things,
Mm-hmm.
and he is able to explain those also. I have asked him
Yes.
basic questions from every single thing that he has mentioned, and
Uh-huh.
he is able to answer it properly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I am just curious about this 3 stars. Sanket, you have did a mistake in your resumes. You have written stars. Okay, correct it.
Okay.
So what is that actually? You have got 3 stars means what have you done?
uh, Google has some events that are already means they are happening every time. So I in
Uh-huh.
previous so in 2021 I have participated in their Google Cloud Learn to Earn challenge. Means there is a 1 month in that they give us means to credits to use. So by using their credits we can complete some labs given by them only. So there is one track means we need to complete the track. So if we complete total 5 tracks are there, if we complete 3 tracks, then we are getting star accordingly that. So as a
Uh-huh.
result, they are giving swags from that. So I have gotten water bottle from that.
Acha, acha. How many
Hmm.
stars are there in total?
So total there are 5 stars. If you get 1 star, then they are giving credits. If you are getting
Okay.
2 star, they are giving diary, and for 3 star
Uh-huh.
water bottle, and for 4 star I think kettle is there, and for 5 star all the things that I mentioned from 1 to 5 all are there in 5 star.
Acha, acha.
Hmm.
That is a nice thing. I
Hmm.
didn't know about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're using Kaggle. That is a very good thing actually.
Hmm.
We have so many data sets on Kaggle,
Yes.
and it is a very plus point for your resume that you have worked on this machine learning and data science part.
Yes.
Okay, you already ma'am. You already has an offer, or how is it?
No, no. He has been shortlisted for TCS Ninja now, but
Uh-huh.
there will be a few more companies coming in this month only, like
Okay.
Persistent and KPIT is also there. So,
Um,
means this is just a mock interview. It will help him. Means if you have any suggestions, it will be helpful for him to improve upon. So,
okay. I
so
just
yeah.
have one suggestion actually. He is very good in explaining concepts theoretically.
Yes, yes.
But if I am asking him in terms of code, he is little bit mm, not sure on them actually. 1 or 2 questions only he has answered it properly. Rest theoretical he has answered it very well. So
Uh-huh.
I think so regarding that OOPS concepts, memory allocation, it is better if you meaning whenever you are giving an interview now they will ask about the syntax or the skeleton over a high level skeleton they will ask.
Uh-huh.
Suppose now if I ask you what how will you create a thread, then they will ask you syntax of creating thread. That's a very basic thing that you should know. Or
Uh-huh.
they will ask you how are the two types of how with there are 2 types to create thread, correct? So write the syntax of both and differentiate it. Likewise they will ask you. And that's a very basic question actually. You should know about these things syntactically. Theoretical knowledge is absolutely nice, no thing on that, but practically or programmatically, you should be sound on these things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually thought that you will be joining at 7:15. So
Um,
I joined at 7:15 and it was going on. So I
yeah,
have
yeah.
missed initial part actually. So
Uh-huh.
are there any corrections in self introduction part? I haven't
Yeah,
heard actually.
yeah, yeah. I'll share the high level skeleton actually.
Mm-hmm.
We he have just completed it in 30 seconds or less than a minute actually, which is not correct.
Acha.
So I'll give you the skeleton of that. You can pass on to all the students in that case.
Okay,
I'll
fine.
give you a sample which I
Ha.
have been using
Yes.
or my friends have been using. So
Okay.
I'll pass on that to you.
Yeah, that will be good. We will share.
Sure, sure, ma'am.
Okay. Few HR questions have you asked?
HR questions? No, I did not ask him anything
Like
related to it.
interest or hobbies related?
No, no, no. I
Okay,
didn't ask him.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Anupreet, then.
Sure, sure, ma'am.
Thanks for finding time for us in your hectic
Always,
schedule.
ma'am. Anytime, anytime. I'm there for you anytime.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
so much. Huh?
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Bye, Sanket. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you.
Bye.
bye.